As we begin, may grace surround us, and may the divine presence lead the way. Selected 1. It's understandable why you're ecstatic, since your life is about to take a radical turn from being accepted by individuals who didn't deserve to have your energy to being embraced by others who see you as the legend you were always destined to be. Behind the scenes, the cosmic machinery has been exerting pressure, and with a power that will leave your previous critics stunned and frantically trying to figure out how they missed the clues of your impending ascent. That unstoppable transformation that everyone believed was impossible is about to burst into your reality. You light the way for others, those you have selected, frequently, without even recognizing the extent of your influence. What seems insignificant to you might cause profound changes in the lives of others. Your inspiration and motivation are not minor or simple. Lives are changed by this transforming energy. And rumors about your true identity beneath the modest facade you've been putting up are spreading quickly. There are people from your past who are experiencing the emptiness where your energy used to flow freely while you take in these words. They used your generosity like an all-you-can-eat buffet, took you for granted, and expected you would always be available at their convenience. They felt superior because of their entitled attitude, which they found sweet or charming in their treatment of you. They're feeling your absence like a phantom limb, and they know exactly what they did. However, you're not going back. You are familiar with what needs to be done because this is not your first makeover. The turnabout, the recovery, the tactical realignment that leaves them frantically trying to figure out what went wrong. You perform these motions with the accuracy of someone who has perfected the art of elevation-based self-preservation. Right now, everyone is watching you because you don't accept their sluggish energy. Some people in your social circle didn't care enough to locate the ladder and scale it to get to your level. They were aware of the ladder's location. They knew what work looked like, yet they preferred stagnation to progress, comfort to advancement. They assumed that in order to accommodate their reluctance to raise, you would drop. Rather, you drew in folks who are tall enough to ride this attraction and who are aware of the location of the ladder. Behind the scenes, the transition from stagnant energy to rocket ship momentum has been intensifying, and it will soon become unavoidable. Even though you've been working in silence, everyone who counts is starting to notice your brilliance. The party that's waiting for you. If your previous festivities have been a letdown, be ready for a total change in direction. By the time that recognition comes, whatever it is you've been climbing out of, whether it's financial hardship, toxic relationships, health issues, or stagnation in your career, will be resolved. Friend, generosity turns faith into motion. When you pour out, God pours back in ways you could not script. If this broadcast helped you, hit super thanks and sow $20, $50, or more as the Lord puts it on your heart. But my God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. Philippians 4 verse 19, KAV. I'm praying your seed today becomes answered prayers tomorrow. Peace in your home, wisdom in decisions, and provision right on time. What currently seemed impossible will turn out to be inevitable. For you, transcending transformation is more than just an idea. It's the reality you live in. Rolling in wealth, paying off debt, opening up new doors, and experiencing a new degree of affluence that corresponds with your heightened awareness. A purchase or investment that represents the distance you've come from your starting point will be your way of celebrating. The love that is going to grow in your reality is symbolized by the energy that is constantly playing in the cosmic background of your experience. There will be a lot more love in your life in a few days. The relationships that value you, the romance that embraces your complexity, the alliances that strengthen rather than weaken your influence. Everything is perfectly synchronized as it converges on your timeline. The change that is occurring is no longer gradual or subtle. It's evident, dramatic, and indisputable. With the accuracy of someone who has mastered the use of their will as a magic wand, you are calling out your desires. Your frequency has been set to attract rather than chase. So everything you focus your intention on will come sprinting to meet you. Most people don't comprehend the frequency on which your spiritual awareness and mission function. However, the people you're going to start meeting well understand it. They understand the depth of your character, the strategy underlying your actions, and the lessons learned from hardships that would have crushed weaker people. Your ability to distinguish has been enhanced to otherworldly levels. Not hypervigilant paranoia, but vivid perception that instantly recognizes genuine intentions and breaks through delusions. You've been putting a lot of effort into healing your capacity to discern when it's best for you to walk away. You now carry out these departures more quickly and decisively. People who wish to confine you, categorize you based on their narrow interpretation, and humiliate you for the freedom you have asserted during this time of emancipation. You can't stand their narrow-minded energy at all. When it was their way or the highway, you just left connections behind. Your presence now demands respect, even though they blamed you for not letting go. And the people you've cut off contact with are undoubtedly feeling the chill. They're starting to realize that where your warmth once was, it feels chilly, but it's too late to make a difference. Although your reputation may have suffered in the past, you have moved past giving a damn about the opinions of individuals who have no idea who they are interacting with. The locks have been changed, the numbers have been altered, and access to your energy demands a completely different degree of respect from anyone who is still acting as though you are the same person they remember. You possess tiger energy that roars silently. Those who are not prepared for real power are intimidated by your presence. Additionally, the heart activation you're going through is allowing you to have visions of light-filled portals and breakthrough passageways. While people want to confine you to outmoded versions of yourself, you are evolving into a creature of love and light. The message you're supposed to convey has been made possible by the significant purging you've been carrying out in private, letting go, mending, and moving on from things that no longer serve. The changes that accompany your journey as this famous person you're becoming relate to themes of development, redemption, and regaining the power that was always yours. Many individuals believed it would be simple to approach you, gaslight you into doubting your reality, love bomb you with false promises, and then cut your wings while you were not looking. They were momentarily successful, but you've strengthened your wings. You've learned to be careful of your power while keeping an open mind to real connection, so the clipping won't happen again. Even though you've been villainized in a number of situations, you don't consider yourself to be the bad guy. You acknowledge that the experiences you had in the past were essential in giving you your unique texture and depth. Every encounter you've had over the course of several lifetimes has shaped the legend you're turning into. When others undervalued your softness and seeming weakness, the fighter in you came out. They learned that you're a spiritual fighter in a modest package too late. You leave a lasting impression when you go. Because of your intelligence and street smarts, you are valuable to those who can spot wisdom when they see it, which is why the strategist in you learns to trade in knowledge and insight, not for the purpose of manipulation. People come to you when they need someone who is both tactically savvy and knows human nature. You are able to turn on the charm when the situation calls for it. You could convince fish that they need to purchase additional water. There's no tampering here. Yellow heart if you're moved by divine love. Now is the moment to share it. Click the Super Thanks button on YouTube and contribute $50 or more to help us broadcast God's blessings far and wide. Every act of generosity you make is being watched in heaven and will return to you 100-fold. It is the innate charm of someone who has learned to use their skills rather than feel sorry for them. Those who confuse your generosity for weakness are surprised by your resilient spirit. Because their presumptions benefit you, you allow them to undervalue you. You're busy proving them incorrect with unexpected results, while they're busy discounting your ability. Your unorthodox energy isn't focused on fitting in with what other people think you should look like. You're at ease with your directness, your edge, and your readiness to work beyond conventional lines when necessary. You have traveled to locations that others, who are privileged, have never had to go. Additionally, you have acquired abilities from this adventure that cannot be passed down through families or taught in schools. In every meaning of the word, you are not regular. Additionally, you no longer express regret for your inability to fit neatly into categories. You possess a strong energy that has been created by experiences that would have crushed a less resilient person. You break bands that bound you or others. You breathe fire when needed. And you have earned all of your titles by surviving fights that others can't even fathom. Tolerance, rivalry masquerading as camaraderie, and those who would rather push you backward than encourage your progress are the hallmarks of the world you're leaving behind. Even if the relationships weren't romantic or long-term fixtures in your life, you had to take a moment to consider whether these were really your folks. You began to treat yourself with kindness and grace, starting this healing process that needed you to overcome setbacks that would have left others bitter for life. You're now getting opportunities that support your progress and validate every tough decision you've taken. A few days after you get this message, your financial reality undergoes a dramatic change. The money that has been flowing in the background and lining up with your higher frequency becomes apparent in your outward experience. It becomes inevitable to get promoted, make a breakthrough, or take advantage of a chance that always appeared just out of grasp. People around you will notice how you're being brought back to life. Even the critics won't be able to ignore the walking story twist you symbolize. They attempted to exclude you, but they are unable to do so. They never took your actual value into account, hence their calculations were incorrect. You're dispelling myths and getting evidence after evidence that your intuition about circumstances and individuals that others attempted to deceive you into embracing was accurate. An authority figure who misjudged your intelligence or fortitude will face a checkmate or justice within hours of witnessing this. As you learn to accept the positive things that are coming into your life, the celebration you've been planning, the enjoyable activities you've been depriving yourself of, and the acknowledgement of your success that you've been putting off become not just feasible but essential. As your fear of the future gives way to eager anticipation of what is about to happen, your sleep quality significantly improves. The inner calm that comes from knowing you're right where you should be is mostly responsible for the glow that other people see. But it also comes from this rest. Your life will change in ways that make someone with poisonous energy, especially a parent, perplexed. They will have plenty to speak about because of your accomplishment, but their thoughts won't change your course because you've gotten past your desire for their acceptance and your fear of their judgment. When your efforts begin to receive the attention they have always earned, the colleague who believed you were doing too much will learn what too much really looks like. Someone who wasn't doing their share and made unfulfilled promises will watch you cut them off with surgical precision, proving that you've improved at safeguarding your energy. You're demonstrating to them that you're a creative genius and cosmic prodigy who works at levels they never would have imagined. You're back at it every day, back in the saddle, and you're coming out of this soul-dark night with a new purpose and relentless drive. Regardless of your present relationship state, love is evolving in your life. As you learn to value yourself and expect others to value you similarly, you become more confident in intimate situations. A greater confidence in asserting pleasure and connection on your own terms is reflected in the energy. Your absence is undoubtedly noticed by someone who felt like they were a part of something significant with you and realizes that they overlooked the gem they had access to. Their attempt to play victim won't succeed, since you are no longer available for their manipulative games, even if they know the argument or conflict that caused the distance between you is on them. You are no longer interested in their routines, but they are aware that they are runners who use hot and cold conduct to push others away. Just by refusing to let their dysfunction, you've helped them recognize their shortcomings. And even though it exposed their flaws, this circumstance has strengthened you. They lost a chance to work together professionally, romantically, or as friends with you. They also understand how irreplaceable you are. They lost access to someone exceptional because they were afraid to act when they ought to have. The force that attempted to make you feel inferior to others believed it would be simple to blame their own shortcomings. However, they are unable to bear the pressure they attempted to exert on you when that same force is directed back at them. These folks were always arrogant, believing they were more knowledgeable than you even when they lacked your experience, insight, or accomplishments. They should have been motivated by your example of someone choosing progress above comfort, but instead their feeling of duty and obligation made them bitter. They were giving people bad advice and refusing to acknowledge their mistakes until the repercussions were irrefutable. They are now approaching a stage of several rock bottoms that will make them face the fact that their strategy wasn't working. Finally, the spoiled energy that pretended to be victims and projected their privilege onto you will be acknowledged for what it was: superiority masquerading as disappointment. They showed who they really were by how they responded to accountability when you told them about themselves, established limits, and refused to put up with rude behavior. Dove brothers and sisters, everything done in faith multiplies in God's abundance. Use the Super Thanks feature to donate $100 today and join this sacred mission. When your roots are grounded in Him, your fruit will flourish, and your offering becomes a seed that bears blessed harvests. They are aware that they should apologize to you and that there is still work to be done, but you have already moved on and are pursuing your goals. Your protection has been improved, so they can't try to steal your good fortune or impede your advancement. They want to think that this separation is causing you both pain, because even though you may be going through greater pain than they are, you are working on your healing in secret while they are bound in cycles. This dynamic may connect with the emotion of "you broke me first," but you're not providing them with the gratification of witnessing your development. They want to hear your voice again, but now that's absurd. This estrangement was brought about by their terrible habits and divergent values. And before they left you feeling damaged and unworthy. You can no longer be bothered, so they may focus their energies elsewhere. You're going to live an even better life than you currently have. You're evolving into a magician and a straight savage, rewarded for your tenacity and insight with chances that send sparks flying wherever you look. You know you've called forth a wonderful existence, and you're now learning to accept it without questioning your value. So everything you touch turns to gold. Many people will be ashamed of themselves for obstructing you during this time of transition. Your energy signature's association with excellence highlights your innate authority and the respect you receive when you're using your true power. Has it been too long since you felt like yourself? The completeness that seemed like home, the totality you recall, the version of oneself that was just being, without acting or fitting in. Because of everything you've learned, you're becoming that person again, but more attractive than before. You have an aura that is impossible to ignore as you dance, shine, and illuminate. Recent hardships have put your strength to the test, but beauty is making a comeback in ways that go well beyond looks. You'll feel more gorgeous very soon, since you're giving yourself the respect you merit. Your appearance is improving, which is a reflection of the internal change that has been gaining steam. Your body adapts to whatever is best for you and what makes you feel most genuine. Connections that used to terrify you because they needed you to be vulnerable with others who could truly see and value who you are what make you happy. You stand for change that frightens those who have a stake in maintaining the status quo. However, the catalytic energy you offer is welcomed by the people who are entering your reality. The inner wisdom that emerges about seizing chances is accompanied by spiritual direction to follow the current. A timeline where individuals were actively fighting against your achievement is what you're leaving behind. Stepping into one where your discernment has been honed to otherworldly levels, and you will know exactly what to do. Everyone's blades were aimed at you as you stepped out of the heated seat. When you see that connections are coming that will work better than you imagined, the worry that has been eating up your energy turns into exciting anticipation. Your experience will show you that you're headed in the right direction. They serve as reminders that your decisions are in line with your destiny and that your protection is in effect, whether they come from animals, symbols, or chance meetings. Your erstwhile rivals are unhappy with their life and are looking for something else to help them cope with the reality they have created by excluding someone exceptional. This isn't their message, though. Chosen one, this is yours. Your inner creative energy shows itself as intense originality and sincere pleasure in your own company. Vibrant manifestations of the plentiful energy circulating through your reality may attract your attention. Your creative process is no longer governed by perfectionism in the days ahead. You accept that experimentation is necessary for creativity, and that excellent things don't always need to be picture perfect. In reality, striving for perfection stifles the flow of creativity by creating stagnant energy. In your experience, natural symbols may show up as indications that you are in harmony with the abundance that is coming your way. Keep an eye out for these confirmations that show up within a few hours of seeing this communication. In just a few days, love will dramatically enter your life. Heavenly alliances that respect every facet of your identity. Everything is perfectly orchestrated as it converges on your timeline. You're going to produce, develop, or introduce something that attracts a lot of interest. As you find ways to make money while you sleep, several revenue sources become available to you. As you align with the abundance that corresponds with your elevated consciousness, luxury becomes your natural surroundings. Whether biological or chosen, the family you've always desired turns from a source of worry and duty into one of happiness and celebration. You cherish spending time with your loved ones and in your sanctuary, and you passionately guard these relationships because you understand how uncommon true love is. You feel more at ease expressing love and affection because of the internal heart stimulation. You're learning to stay in joy, love, and laughter for longer without destroying these wonderful emotions out of worry that they won't endure if you've been guarded by past encounters with narcissistic people. Your inner conviction that you will live a life filled with gratitude is growing stronger every day. You're pursuing possibilities quickly while staying under divine protection and prepared to face any obstacles that may come from those who are unable to manage your advancement. Because of how drastically your life is changing, people on social media start to compete with you. However, you're ready for this since those who see your light as competition rather than inspiration have always treated you this way. Whatever was attempting to sap your vitality has been resuscitated, bringing you back to life. Relocation, spiritual and financial rehabilitation, and the displacement of those who did not value you. It all takes place at the perfect moment to safeguard your energy and put you in a better position to succeed. You receive a great deal of attention, a unique chance that, after escape catastrophe, lets you feel like a king or queen. Now that you've learned to surgically cut off what drains you, you have so much energy that some people get tired just watching you. From accepted to praised. This is how you've changed. Individuals who believe they're not jealous, but are in fact competitive will come out as such. You're accustomed to this dynamic as a chosen one, though, and you know how to handle it without losing your center. They have no idea how you get the energy to achieve all that you do. But it's because you don't play around with getting rid of harmful situations. Trial and error has taught you that the best way to protect yourself and keep the vitality that others try to drain away is to set boundaries and walk away from things that don't serve you. Glowing star yearning to witness God's miracles firsthand? Plant your spiritual seed now by contributing $100 or more through the YouTube Super Thanks button. Your offering lights the path for others and echoes through His divine plan, bringing His light into every step you take. Because you're recovering what others were attempting to harvest from your frequency, you get exponential energy back each time you shut off something that was draining you. Theft and manipulation of energy. Since your protection has been improved and your discernment is no longer accessible, none of it affects you anymore. People are amazed, wondering how you keep up this level of brilliance, where you obtain your energy, and what you're on. It's because you quickly cut off poisonous relationships. They now have one chance to prove themselves to you, and because you've been burnt too severely to disregard warning signs, you believe them the first time. Understanding that improving yourself is always more essential than attempting to fix others who aren't dedicated to their own improvement. You've realized that if you can't trust those closest to you, You really need to be strategic with everyone else. You're skilled at influencing people's perceptions of you after they've moved beyond their presumptions at first. Simply by demonstrating what true power looks like when it isn't apologizing for being, you help others see things plainly. Justification. Only those who felt the call should read the next message. The terrible reality was revealed to me when I managed to escape through the Salvia Dionorum gateway. Will you take the call, is the question. You are going to make a decision that the Archons fear. They outshould. Your life is now drawing individuals who value your presence rather than those who put up with it for personal gain. You have gone from tolerating to celebrating. Religious meanness, spiritual meanness, and happy haters who sought to embarrass you for expressing joy are just a few of the mean people you've encountered. In your own spiritual community, you have dealt with false prophets who were envious of your genuine connection to source energy. You have dealt with naysayers who have always had something bad to say about your gifts or advice. People who were too intelligent for their own good and constantly had to push boundaries until they discovered repercussions had been outwitted by you. Now is the time to let them learn about their losses while you concentrate on your gains. You're using affirmations more deliberately, visualizing more, and becoming famous in ways that even you find surprising. People believed they could treat you like the outsider who should be content with whatever scraps they provided, making you the ultimate sacrifice. Rather, you're taking the lead in guiding other marginalized people out of the shadows and demonstrating to them what can happen when someone doesn't settle for less than they deserve. People you'll never meet are impacted by your metamorphosis. Your willingness to adapt allows others to follow their own path of development. And keeping an eye on everyone who deserted you when you were at your weakest is your defense. It's not as dramatic as in movies, when someone betrays you when you're at your lowest. They appear just when you need them most, smiling and behaving like pals. However, they realize you're far gone within days. Your protection is saying, "We're watching them. Don't worry. Go about your business. We've got this handled." The shield surrounding you is supernatural because your elevation serves purposes beyond your personal success, even though they still believe they have a chance to regain access to your energy right now. All those people who required you to be smaller, darker, calmer, more manageable, they haven't seen anything yet. When the chips were down, they admitted that they needed your light, turned down for comfort, and the reverberation of that rejection lasts forever. You're building the relationships that respect your entire range of abilities and difficulties, the life you desire, and the family you desire. Perhaps you've been alone, cut off from networks of support, and anxious about lacking a tribe. People that select you as purposefully as you chose them are helping you create it right now. Your illustrious era is just getting started. The quick recovery, the defense against stress that was prematurely aging you, and the boost that occurs each time you get out of hazardous situations. It all combines to create a change that astounds people. While you continue to climb, others remain stuck because they are unwilling to let go. They don't care about progress and are content with mediocrity. However, some individuals will be left speechless and frightened by your voice activation as they process who you have become. As you're aligned with the natural cycles of transition that rule all real progress, you're leveling up spiritually, emerging from solitude like a phoenix, and seeing good indications in your experience that remind you to smile. Your self-expression is improving as a result of your increased self-confidence. You have faith in your recollections of previous encounters, your intuition about the intentions of others, and your connection to advice that used to seem too mystical to believe. You're gracefully entering your actual purpose and seizing opportunities that respect both your path and your final destination. The activations that are increasing your ability to accept and express the completeness of who you are becoming are reflected in the energy surrounding you. Take your time making this change. Since this opportunity is yours by divine right, you are free to proceed gently and easily and have faith that it will stay open for you. You are the warrior who will know exactly what to do in every situation. The emotions you could experience in the next days come from feeling genuinely loved and appreciated, probably for the first time in longer than you care to recall. When you are a wellspring of courage, strength, wealth, kindness, and knowledge, you turn into a stronghold where people come to find support and hope. However, you won't have much left for yourself or those who genuinely deserve to use your abilities if you give up your own energy for individuals who don't want to develop themselves. You're coming to this realization. Those who match your energy, not those who drain it, are the ones who will benefit from your choice. You finally realize that your amazing life has purpose that goes far beyond providing short-term solace to those who refuse to do their own work. And you stake your ground like never before. You are unstoppable, intellectually strong, physically strong, sweet when needed, and untouchable when needed. Frequencies that don't match your elevation cannot hack, jack, or interfere with the timeline you're heading toward. A very fortunate age will begin with the healing that is currently taking place, making everything you have endured feel valuable. Because you've become such a beacon for others that your example alone transforms lives. You're headed to a place where you're celebrated rather than just tolerated. You're rapidly turning into the legend the universe always knew you were meant to be, and you're going to accomplish some truly amazing things. You refuse to settle, so now everyone is watching you. You're now shooting straight for opportunities that align with your resolve to settle for mediocrity. You put in a lot of effort and silence, but it's getting harder to overlook your brilliance. Legends are created in this precise manner. Chosen one. Your life will soon change so drastically that it will feel like you are recalling someone else's narrative when you look back on this particular moment. You may not be aware of how long the universe has been planning this discovery, and every obstacle you overcame was a prelude to the enormity of what is about to happen. The world has been waiting for you to become exactly who you are, and your tale is only getting started.